Gentleman over there, gentleman here, and...
Hello, my name is Mark Field from Lincoln.
Just need to get a touch closer to the mic, I think.
Yeah, I'm Mark Fielden from Lincoln. I think it's somewhat unfair to expect Muslims to make a quick transition to become an ex-Muslim. I mean, obviously it takes a lot of thought to get to there. I think when I was in the Middle East, as a visitor, I noticed, you couldn't help noticing that every other sentence, the word God came into it when you were talking to someone in the Middle East. In fact, that was whether they were Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. And I think if you expect people to transfer across to atheism, that is a stretch too far. But what you can expect people to do, you can say, well, we want to transfer ourselves away from a God of condemnation and obviously everything that goes with it. And we believe possibly for those people who need it in a more individualized God. People can choose the kind of character that they want according to their needs. You know, people do not necessarily want, they have different needs and they not necessarily can't just match them. So that was my main, I don't know whether that's come across at all, but it's, you know, we can't take God out of our lives. I mean, we can do what we want, but it doesn't always work like that. And what one is simply trying to do is to maybe find a halfway house or, you know, a place to be safe. You know, that doesn't mean to say that you have to reject every concept of God in one fell swoop. There's lots of intermediate methods. You can hold to a belief in God according to as it suits you, and I think that is maybe more attractive to people who need to renounce the certain unacceptable parts of their faith, which make it difficult to coexist.
Okay, thank you. Well, would you finish up? Hold on. The gentleman here, just here, and the lady over there.
Which one first? This one here?
Anybody in the balcony who would like to speak, if you could indicate, I can see you from here, so if you'd like to speak, just let me know.
About what you said, Aloma, about where the atheists are, the new writers, the young writers. Yeah. First of all, congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
And I think it is really important to continue doing that and continue writing, publishing books on atheism and educating the society on that. I think that is really essential and important. But when it comes to Islam, I think Islam is at the moment Islam is in a different situation. I think it's under a lot of pressure, and the society has gone beyond the enlightenment, I think. Well, most of what I think and I say is on the basis of my experience on Iranian society. In Iran, young people, teenagers don't really need to read books to understand that there isn't a God, because every single thing that the government does, people associate it with God. I remember I left Iran when I was like 21. I remember from age of 14, 15 or something, you know, at schools, every single joke was about God. Every time we were like held in a queue or something outside, first of all, before insulting the government, we insulted God, we insulted prophets. I mean, that was our daily life. And this is interesting. When I came to the UK in 1998 or 1999, in my English class, I made fun of God, and the teacher was pissed off. The students were, oh my God, blasphemy, blasphemy, like outrageous. So then I realized, well, I'm in a totally different society, and here you have to challenge religion in a different way. I think those people who are potentially writers in future, strong atheist writers and against religion, right now are in streets of Iran, fighting the Islamic regime, fighting the tyranny of religion and bringing it down. I think that's what they are doing, and that's what they are busy with. And regarding the fear of God, obviously this fear of God, which is implanted in our brain from when we are like kids, it's really hard to get rid of. But again, I think ridiculing it is a very, very good way of it. And And I think we should have lots of movies like Life of Brian about Islam. And I think that would definitely make a big, big difference. For me personally, I'll keep it very short. Personally, the first time I gave up God and religion, I mean, it took me like a few minutes. A friend came over and he was basically an atheist. We got into talking and he just started insulting God, Muhammad, their wives, kids, everyone. And it was like, oh, nice, cool, so cool. I had a tiny Quran, put it in the toilet, flash, and that was it. 5 minutes, that was it. Story of me getting rid of religion. And that was it, I think, anyway. And finally, I think we have to think about and address the issue of secularism in a different way when it comes to Middle East and Islamic-stricken countries. Because there, in the West, there is some sort of respect for religion, socially speaking. Obviously, there are very progressive movements alive and active, but socially speaking, there is much more respect for religion than there is in Islamic-stricken countries, because obviously it's not in power in here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lady here.
There are two questions from upstairs that...
All right, okay.
So I'm relaying these questions from people who prefer not to be identified.
Okay, thank you.
First, to Alam Shah, if it isn't too personal, please explain how your family reacted to your apostasy. And again, the second comment, again to Alam Shah, I think the problem many atheists had with your article is that there is a perception you placed blame upon these old white atheists for not being inclusive. The responsibility lies in those who cannot speak out due to fear. I am Somali and I cannot join this movement for fear of being persecuted. My channel on YouTube had to be shut down because I couldn't handle the threats.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll take the contribution from the lady here, and then we'll get a reaction. I'm beginning to feel like an endangered species myself in all this. As an old white male atheist. It's getting worse and worse. Behave yourself there.
I would like to remind everybody that we have to go right back to the beginning of it all. Noah giving Canaan to the Hebrews. Now, we're in this room and we're talking about the three monotheisms as though nothing has happened ever since and that we've all got to divide up into our monotheisms and it'll be okay. The problem has been the advent of Zionism in 1897, followed by communism, followed by fascism and Nazism, and thousands of people all over the world are convinced that these isms are really, really bad things. But the odd thing about Zionism is it's still going. And we cannot separate it from the Bible and Noah saying that his grandson Canaan must be damned forever. There are 480,000 paid up illegal Jewish Shas Party settlers on the West Bank as I speak. The Golan Heights are still under control. Clinton has no intention at all of doing anything because the money is where the Zionist movement resides globally. You cannot expect Muslims to be patient with the kind of treatment that the West, the so-called Christian West, has used its religions to perpetuate this Zionist movement. I just don't know where we have to begin. Perhaps we have to start a new syllabus for our children, which will take us back to the Big Bang. Go back to the Big Bang, everybody except the Big Bang, and the good Lord has done what he's done ever since. And that is the start of real agnosticism and humility, I believe.
Okay, thank you very much. We now get contributions from, responses from the panel. I'm going to start with Anne-Marie Rich. She's looking a little hesitant.
I'm just wondering which which part you wanted me to answer. I have questions about what the Zionist movement and what exactly is sort of meant by that. Can I ask you to respond? What do you mean when you say the Zionist movement exactly?
I think we need to communicate with the... Well, hold on. A microphone is coming in this direction. The question was...
We've had...
But is it uniquely wrong in your opinion?
Zionism is one of the things we've not come to terms with. We've got the Bible and we've got Zionism. And we can never decide which one is going to win. And it looks as though the monotheisms are going to be trapped and unable to get the scientific aspect of our world into perspective. That's all. Yes. I mean, I am descended from Jewish lawyers and bankers, so I know what I'm talking about. And I'm the first to stick up for Jews. But I've been thrown out of meetings in the House of Commons for actually mentioning the numbers of Palestinian refugees, 750,000. I was booted out of Kabul, which I've been a member for about 9 years, because I questioned Lindsay Hilson, the same question. Do you know that there are 480,000 illegal Jews on the West Bank? Chris Doyle booted me out for a second time. I find this appalling. I mean, I'm 84 now.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay, we'll move on. A number of questions directly mentioning your name, Madam. So would you like to respond to that?
I don't, somebody asked a question, made a point about the article I wrote about the white male atheists. I made it absolutely crystal clear in that piece that I wasn't